All right. Hello, everybody. We are back. Gen X Vibes podcast. Today's topic has been entitled Lord of the Flies, the barbaric experiences we all had on playgrounds and childhood games. As always, I am joined by my brother and co-host, John Fitzgerald.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I love the title. You came up with that. I appreciate that. That is freaking perfect. And what I'm thinking here is playground equipment, games, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to jump right in because
Well, actually, can I? Because I want to set the framework, right? And you let me know if my memory is wrong, right? Because I mean, I remember recess. Recess was the best thing. That's what we used to call it, recess. I don't remember a lot of adult supervision. There might have been one teacher hanging out, maybe, I don't remember them smoking, but they basically were like hanging out over by the school, like in the shaded area,
Yeah.
while 3 acres of wild children going wild, and like no actual adult consideration at any point in any way. Is that your recollection? Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
It was an absolute free for all. Honestly, I remember in elementary school, somebody got the book Where I Come From, and we were always like not always, but like for a little time, for as long as we took the book out of the library, we were huddled around that. Nobody ever like came and checked, what we were doing or anything. I mean, it definitely looked suspect, and that's just one example, let alone the violence.
Hey, can you give me a copy of that book?
Yeah.
Why do they like to know?
Right.
52 years old, somebody, I mean, I'm just sitting there just fumbling around.
I still don't know how to talk.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That would be an interesting one. How many Gen Xers actually had their parents give them the talk, right? Because now, I feel like, we don't have kids, but I feel as though responsible parents are having the talk with kids, condoms, be safe. Are you emotionally ready? What have you? And and for our generation, it was like, you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all right,
I'm not throwing mom under the bus here, but I literally never got a talk.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah.
I mean, you didn't get one from dad, right?
Oh no. I mean, I learned everything that I need to know by watching Lonnie Anderson on WKRP in Cincinnati. Lonnie, if you're out there,
or just project there.
Whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a whole nother session. But yeah.
There's this guy, a famous marketing genius, Gary V. I don't know if you've heard of him, but yeah, or no?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, okay. But he was just saying they were talking about Super Bowl commercial, and he's like, well, I've got two. He's like, first of all, the one with Cindy Crawford when she goes to the Pepsi machine. That's the first time that I was like, why aren't we watching the game? Why do we have to watch these stupid commercials? I was just like, why am I feeling these funny feelings? And that was like a beautiful commercial.
Yeah, I feel, by the way, if we want to go down this road, we can change it from Lord of the Flies to why are my pants suddenly tight? But yeah.
I'll put it on the list for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It'll just be me, basically iterating through every woman that I saw from the age of 11 to the age of 16. Be like, and then I saw this person, and then I saw this person. I didn't feel good about it, but.
And then I bumped in the couch, and I was like, "Hey."
Exactly. I've always been attracted to plaid, and I can't figure it out.
All right, I'm gonna go off topic one more time, but did you ever watch this show? Life in Pieces?
No.
It's relatively recent. You should watch it. But the dad in it is like such a dork, and he's taking his kid on a college tour, like his senior year. And he starts telling like, oh man, you got to be so excited. You're going to lose your virginity. He's like, did I ever tell you about when I lost my virginity? And the kid is just like, oh my God. And he's like, I was on the couch with, Susie so-and-so in the basement, and and we were kissing and we were getting there. And, and I was like, that was awesome. And she was like, what? And I looked down and I thought I'd lost my virginity, but I looked down at my penis and there was a nickel in it. A piece of lint. He's like, so I lost it to the couch. but I still
You know what? Maybe
found it.
maybe our parents were strategic, and that's why the couch in our basement was so damn uncomfortable.
What is it?
Like we don't want any kids down there being comfortable together. God forbid.
Oh
That's
my
a
god.
baby. That's you know what? I never read the book, but I'm pretty sure that's where we come from. So see what I
You're
did there? I
talking about
brought it
the
full
wooden
circle.
one with the
Oh
cushion.
yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
those
Horrible.
cushions were like flammable.
Oh, everything in our house was flammable. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing that there weren't more spontaneous combustions in the
that's
80s,
true. In the 70s.
70s and 80s.
Shag
I mean,
carpet alone. You know?
the pants that mom like when we were really young, she used to get from like Sears or J.C. Penney's, where it was made from this indestructible stuff that actually had patches on the inside of your knees, right?
Oh,
And every,
there was a name for him.
and like Garano or whatever, but every time that you walked, it was basically friction,
Yes.
right? Just being generated, and you're like,
Yeah. It was something like
tough skins.
tough skins.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that was uncomfortable.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh.
But bringing it full circle, you know what it did protect you from? It protected you from the
Barbie.
white hot intensity of the metal slide
And
in
we did
every playground.
full freaking circle. You're
You like
absolutely.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
we can start with those. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and also if you'll remember, on the rough and tumble playground of Tooten Hills Elementary, toot, toot,
Shout out.
what else? Shout out. It also, my memory is that thing was wicked tall.
Yeah.
Like in my memory, all right, if I went back there, I would be surprised if it wasn't 10 feet tall.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so you're climbing up this thing with the smooth metal poles, right? And
No
you get up
grip.
to the top, no grip, right? You get up to the top and you sit down, and all of a sudden you feel bacon sizzling, and that's your ass.
The
And of
backs of
course,
your thighs.
yeah, in the backs of your
Yeah.
thighs, right? And of course, you're wearing shorts because it's already hot, right? And so you're looking down, and if you pause any moment, you got like 5 kids behind you, so on and so forth, bacon sizzling, and then you slide down, giving yourself a self-imposed wedgie, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, that was fun. I'm going to go do it again. Like,
Well, that's if you slid. Like a lot of times the skin like caught,
yeah, that kind of like flutter, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yay, we're having fun.
And I
Anyway,
felt
yeah.
like they swayed. You know what I mean? Like they were not
Yeah.
like they were so tall and like it was thin and you know what I mean? Like it was not anchored.
I do not have that recollection. I remember it being anchored pretty.
Really?
I'm gonna. You know what? How dare
Maybe
you? How dare you question the construction? Because let's face it, things were built solid back in our day.
Back of the
Yeah,
door.
back in our day. Yeah. But,
You know what? I will say that the one at Club was, but there are some that like they were spindles for the stairs. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah.
well, if you remember, before the house that we truly grew up in, we used to, and I might have this wrong, but our first house, it had a swing set in the back, and it was made with these very thin metal poles, and eventually it rusted out and so on. And if you swung on that, like the entire thing would, like, you'd swing back and like the entire swing set would be like, oh, okay, I'll go with you. And then you'd swing forward. And it was
I
just
forgot
like,
about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was yellow, if I remember. Yeah. It was like
And what did it have? Just like 2 swings and a slide?
2 swings and like a slide.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would like to preface this whole conversation that the entire playground and all its equipment was just a tetanus shot waiting to happen. Like, I think that's why,
everything,
came about, because everything was metal, everything was rusted, everything got sharp, everything was hot.
Yeah. Well, and here's another one. Okay, moving on. So we talked about swings. All right. Many places had the the half rubber tire of the right. Okay, that was bad. But some of them had this wooden plank, right? And you would like swing it back and forth at people's face. It is amazing that we all walked away with our grills intact.
Yeah.
Because you were just swinging that at people's faces, and you get hit and so on and so forth. Like, yeah. I don't know how teeth weren't littered all over that area of the playground.
that's what we did. It wasn't like somebody was like, oh, don't do that. It was like,
Yeah,
let's go do that thing that we do where we try to kill each other.
yeah,
Like that
oh
was
yeah.
the goal in a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, and then it was, because you're risk tolerant at that age, right? So it'd be like, okay, okay, okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swing this. You see how close you can get your face, like,
Right.
all right? And you're like, oh, okay, this is a good idea. And again, the teacher's over there like, I
Totally.
hate every one of them, you know.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah, that's totally funny. All right. So another one of those pieces of equipment, I freaking hated this thing. I don't know what you call it, but that round thing. And it like, so it was like if you're looking down on it, it's just a big metal circle. And then you ran around
oh
it
yeah,
and
love
jumped
that.
on.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah,
Did it
yeah,
have a
yeah.
name? I don't think it even had a
I,
name.
I mean, it's like a go round something or another. But yeah, I mean,
But
have
so
you ever
it could
seen
be dug
the?
out all around it because, we had run so much. And that was, I hated that thing. It was
See, but you,
legitimately scary.
yeah. Well, first of all, you were, I talk about kids being risk tolerant. That was never you. I mean, you were a scaredy cat to begin with. Um, but also, I remember anytime that we would go to like a carnival or stuff, you hated any ride that would spin
Mhm.
you around, right?
Mm. Pretty
But
much
there are
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, there are videos where people, where those little things still exist, whatever word it
Mhm.
is we're talking about, and somebody will come up with like a moped or a motorcycle and put the back tire on it and then rev the motorcycle, so that's what's causing it to spin, and it will get like up to like 50, 60
Oh
miles
my,
an hour, and
totally.
people are like passing out and like literally like getting flung off their limp
God,
bodies. Oh my God, it's hysterical.
I've never
So,
seen that. That's
oh yeah,
hysterical.
yeah. I mean, so the kids nowadays are taking, what was, powered by our little
Right.
8-year-old legs and been like, hey, you know what? Let's mechanize this weapon. And they just, yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
That's wild. I mean,
Yeah.
it did enough damage just like, with our energy and,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
but I mean, yeah, but I mean, and that was just it. You would try to get it
you
going
want to
as
be in the
fast as you can.
center,
Hmm.
right? But
Yep.
then a lot of time, like, because there
Yeah.
were there
You're
were
like, I mean,
handrails. That was nice
yeah,
of them.
metal, of course, right? So on your way of being flung out, you get to, you take your chin. Like, I wonder if there's any person from Gen X who doesn't have a scar
I
right here.
know, right?
You know what I mean? Like okay. I was roller skating, bang.
Right.
Ice skating,
Mhm.
bang.
Dang.
A swing set,
Yeah.
bang. Like, honestly, I think that's they talk about the mark of the devil. This is
Yeah.
the mark of a Gen X, having
Funny.
a scar right here.
That's hysterical. Where'd you get yours from?
I don't remember.
I don't
So
have one
many. You
because
don't?
I was
Oh,
a scaredy cat.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
Scaredy cat
Back to
smart.
back to swings though. The other one is jumping off of them, right?
Mm.
That again, it,
God.
in full view of the adults who are
Mhm.
supposed to be watching us, we were basically like, who can swing the highest, and and have the balls, have the
Right.
guts to let go at the highest point of the arc,
Mhm.
fly through the air, and land hopefully in some wood chip, right? You know,
Hopefully, not on another kid who was not an unsuspecting, not at the swings, kid.
uh-huh.
And yeah, yeah. I mean, not me, but people got so high on those swings, right? Like the back and
Yeah.
forth. And then underdogs.
Mhm.
Remember underdogs? When you like
No,
run,
what's
like
underdog?
you're pushing the person, and so then you run and you like run under them, and then you keep, hopefully keep
Yeah.
running and
So
don't
you
get
get
hit.
like two or three going like this, and you try to run between them.
No, no, no. So
No.
you're pushing the person,
Okay.
and then you hold
And
on to
then
them, and you go underdog,
gotcha.
push them even higher. Yeah, and then
Oh,
their
okay.
feet would hit you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that just came to me.
So
Like,
I've got one that is recess playground based, but it is not equipment. Okay, but
I
I
know
think
I've got
back.
some games too. So bring.
Okay, yeah. So this one is. Do you remember when we used to make each other faint? So you used to have the people bend over at the waist,
Hold
take
on.
like 10 wicked deep breaths,
Huh?
and then put hold the last breath, put their
Yeah.
back up against the wall, and then you press on their chest, and they'd be like,
Holy shit.
right? I mean,
Holy shit.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That one one, I remember we would hide from the teacher. Okay, that would be
They
like,
had a
hey,
line.
yeah, exactly. It's good to know that they were paying attention and be
They're like,
like,
oh, we got to
uh,
stop him
uh,
on this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, kids flying through the air, totally acceptable. Teeth, not a problem. Hey, that might kill a person. Like, okay,
Oh my
there
God, I
isn't
totally
one.
forgot about that. That's
Yeah.
messed up.
I mean, we thought it was way cool, but as an adult looking back at it, I'd be like, legitimately, we could have killed
Messing
somebody.
with, yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah, I
yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah. And then of course there was the heroin. No, I'm like,
I was like,
toot heels, toot toot.
I knew this could turn. Can turn on a dime. Well, along those lines, but a little more like, ooh, I keep doing this, organized violence was Red Rover.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, let's get in two lines and call somebody over and literally clothesline them.
So
That
let's
was
talk about. Oh yeah, but let's talk about the ramp up before the massacre. The ramp up was picking teams,
I
right? Okay, and so it basically, I mean, an exercise in Darwinism, right? If you were one of the last kids or close to one of the last kids to be picked, like walk away because everybody else knows that your genes are weak and you will not survive this recess. All right, like yeah, it's like okay, I guess I'll take the guy with the gimpy leg. All right, I'll take the guy with the asthma, right? And you get on the other side. Guess who's getting called first? Those poor bastards, right? And they're coming, at like half speed, and you and your friends are like, we break the race for this guy. Like, I mean, seriously. And again, the teachers are like, they're gonna learn a very important life lesson. It's horrible.
I mean, and also it wasn't just bad for the runner though. Like when somebody of strength came, and you were holding on to the person next to you, arm, like your arms could freaking break.
Oh yeah.
You know?
But that's commitment to the game. Okay. Okay. There's no I in team, Jen. All
Yeah.
right. You know what? You don't let the man in the foxhole next to you down. Okay. Important life lessons.
Yeah.
Mm.
So when if you didn't get through or whatever, you joined that team, right?
Yeah, I thought something like that.
So
Yeah.
that line got longer or something like that. Because you could pick who you tried to run through. So
that
was
the
thing. So then
that was the other thing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And remember, I mean, I've always been big all my life.
I was
right?
just gonna say this is the one time that it was like an advantage.
Oh yeah.
Like 50-yard dash, I was the last one picked. Red Rover.
I mean, I was thinking about in anticipation for this. I was thinking about the presidential physical fitness award. I'm like, I wonder if I could pass that. Like today, was that?
I couldn't pass it then. That stupid rope thing.
Rope. Like climbing the rope. Oh, I've never been able to climb the rope.
And the pull-ups.
Oh yeah.
I could never do the hang. The girls did the hang.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember? And the boys did pull-ups.
It was always the run for me. You're like, why am I doing this? Yeah. Oh, and then what I loved was like, oh, okay, let's get the kids all good and sweaty, and back to class. Like I'd be sitting in my own ball sweat before I even realized what ball sweat was. What's that?
So it's not like we had AC that we were gonna get a chill.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you'll catch your death. No,
it's 100 degrees in the classroom too. So.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have swamp ass through
my tough skins.
Social studies. Yeah, I mean, and the tough skins kept all the moisture in. It was like a
yeast party.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far. There's a little insight into your life. No, I was going to go more like a greenhouse, but you do you.
I mean, just saying,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
All right, so then
I just want to say though that's why I made that the Gen X Vibes has the I Survived Red Rover.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I should have worn that today, but yeah.
So then the other one, and this one isn't. This one was state sanctioned. Okay.
Intrigued.
Dodgeball. Okay, you're in gym class, right? And I mean, like, if I were to make a movie, like in this little scene of Gen X kids running around playing
Mhm.
dodgeball, I'd have the teachers on the side of the thing taking bets, being like, "Oh, that little gimpy
Yeah.
Jimmy, he's gonna get it,"
Yeah.
like because it was. And the other thing is first of all, the red balls, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, with
Hmm.
that weird texture.
You can smell
Okay,
them.
you could smell them, but
Hmm.
you could never actually find those in a store.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they existed only
Hmm.
in public school gym classes. If
Hmm.
you tried to go to, for us, Caldor
Outdoor.
or
Uh-huh.
Bradley's,
Hmm.
okay, today Walmart, whatever, and tried to find that ball, it doesn't exist.
You're right.
Okay?
You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. And it was like dimpled.
well,
Yeah.
it had this weird pattern to it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it was good for holding on, right? But
Uh-huh.
and the other thing, and I'm just gonna say this is oh, all people are all God's creatures and so on and so forth. It was in the harsh fields of recess that I realized there are some people who are just naturally athletic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
unfortunately was not one of them,
Right.
but there were just kids who, Jason Berry and Paul Peters, growing up, like, they didn't, you know, back then we didn't,
Do sports
have
or
gyms. We
yeah.
didn't, everybody did soccer and okay,
Right.
but these guys just somehow would walk out on the field and be like, okay, we're going to play football. And all of a sudden, they're freaking Eli Manning,
Yeah.
even it all the way down. You're like, how do you do that? I don't know. Right.
Yeah. And like
So, yeah.
specifically in dodgeball, they'd be the ones that could like scurry and get the ball that like, was like close to the center line and get
Yep.
back and,
Hmm.
just very like flexible and lithe and fast. And yeah,
Yep.
I was,
Yeah, in all aspects, right?
yeah.
I was the human shield.
Mhm.
Roar!
Right.
Yeah, and they were like, running around like Bruce Lee,
Right.
jumping through the air or something
Yeah,
like that. So,
that's
yeah,
true. That's true.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is
All
crazy
right.
how violent though a lot of the games were that were sanctioned. Like, I mean, even like if you go earlier, like Duck Duck Goose, like that got mean. Like at club in the 4 and 5 and 6-year-old group, like everyone would like smack everyone's heads.
Well, okay. So this does talk to our generation, right? I was talking to somebody recently, kind of about my difference between my generation and other generations,
Hmm.
and like this was all perfectly acceptable to our teachers
Right.
who were our parents' generation, and frankly, that is
Hmm.
an element of who we are today, because like when we were growing up, the parents were kind of like, all right, hey, life's tough, get a helmet
Hmm.
and figure it out on your own. Like,
Right.
this might be unique to our family, but I can't ever remember my parents sitting down with me and helping me with my homework. It was, you got a teacher, you got a book, figure it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Just go do
and
your homework. Yeah.
just go do it.
Yeah.
Okay, just whatever it is, just go do it. I don't
Hmm.
want to hear excuses. I don't want to so on and so
Hmm.
forth. And that changed somewhere along the line, but I think that it's very much the psyche of Gen X. Like we are the Swiss Army knife of generation, right? Where it's just kind of like, all right, you're going to be thrown into any situation, just figure it out.
Figure it out.
Like,
Yeah.
go and do it
Yeah.
and figure it out. All right.
Yeah.
So,
So are
yeah.
you saying that the violence kind of comes from, not that we're blaming another generation, but like from that? Because like I'm thinking like even King of the Hill. You know what I mean? Like like the idea was just to push somebody down. Like it's almost it is almost like
Yeah.
warfare. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Life's tough. Get a helmet. No, but again, okay. I mean, we talked about this on one of our previous sessions. The teachers who were watching us, our parents who were guiding us, these are
Mhm.
the people who invented jarts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, their idea of right, wrong, safety, and so on and so forth was pretty skewed,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so they saw
I see.
absolutely no problem. And I have to imagine that they played these as well to some extent.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Right.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
especially
It's
things like
just,
King of the Hill because you didn't have any freaking playground equipment. You had a hill.
yep, yep.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's how it came up.
Yeah, and there might have been a dead animal in the hill or something, but no. what's interesting though is the, I would say, a difference, if you will, between our generation and our parents' generation, where they may have played these same games, they may have their situation was more of the traditional family where the father would work and the mother would stay at home.
Hmm.
We had all of this, and we had both parents working. So we had all of this and this extra added thing of you're on your own, like
Yeah.
after school from 3 o'clock until whatever,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So for us, it was all of this and a little, I would say, even less of a safety net,
Yeah.
right? Because if you got hurt, there may not be a parent
Hmm.
around,
Hmm.
right?
Oh God, yeah.
So
No.
yeah. So, but I mean, look at all of us, Gen Xers,
I mean,
surviving out there,
not a
thriving,
no tougher
thriving.
generation, let me tell you.
I
Let me
tell
tell
you.
you. Um, yeah, but you're right. There was a condoned violence
Oh yeah.
onto it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really would like to, be a
I
fly
mean,
on the
even
wall.
sorry, but even Spud, you took as many steps as you could toward the person. Remember, you'd all be huddled, and then one person would throw the ball up, and you'd have to run, and then you'd, as soon as whoever's number was called, grab the ball, then you'd stop, and then whoever they were closest to, you got to take SPUD steps toward them, and then you'd huck the ball
Haul
at
the ball at him.
them.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember
Remember
that.
that?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even that, like, they're all just, but I guess that's really because, like, you didn't have like toys and equipment and stuff, right? I mean, you
Well,
had a ball. Like, what are you
yeah,
gonna do? You know?
but also, yeah, okay. So what else is there to do? Like, is this part of the human condition? Right. All of the, we're sitting here talking about all these games, and all these games kind of have somewhat of a violent
Lord of the Flies.
connotation to,
Uh-huh.
yeah, Lord of the Flies approach to them. But like, it's very fascinating. Like, if you were to have an experiment where you took 10 young kids, put them in a room together, right, with one ball,
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Hey guys, play with you." How long until it, kind of not de-escalated, but went down into just mayhem where they're
Right.
pinging each other with the ball. It's like that Stanford experiment where they put a bunch of kids together, college kids together, in a prisoner guard dynamic,
Uh-huh.
and it only took a little while before the people who were in power started abusing the prisoners.
Really?
Oh, you've never heard the Stanford
No.
experiment? Yeah,
Mm-mm.
look it up. And it just basically kind of is like, if you put people into this, into this
Right.
dynamic, eventually we, like, as for whatever reason, it's in our nature to eventually kind of,
Interesting.
you fall
Yeah.
into this pattern, right?
Right.
Like, we didn't
I mean,
invent
that
these
literally
games.
was the theme of Lord of the Flies. Like,
Yeah,
literally, you know.
exactly. So now what we just need to do is this Lord of the Flies with this red rubber ball that
Right.
makes this sound that to this day probably makes some people have PTSD, where it's like that it's like this, like almost metallic
Yeah, I was gonna
ping
say it's like a
sound.
ping.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And
like
there's no other thing makes that sound. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I'll also throw this one out there, and we're gonna have to end time soon. It wasn't violent, okay, and I liked it, right? And it seems to, like like only be from our generation as far as I'm concerned. Do you remember in gym class, every now and then they would pull out that big, I would guess I would call it parachute,
Yeah.
and we'd all sit
Yeah. And
"Ooh,"
then go underneath that.
and then go under, and so on and so forth. For some reason, we just thought that was the
It
coolest
was the
thing. Like,
coolest
you
thing. It
know, I think
was.
it was
It was like,
eh,
today we have
eh,
the Rainbow
probably the
Shark
precursor.
Day. Like, because it, like, the word got out through school, like
Did you
whoever
see
had
the
dreams.
parachutes out? The
Yeah.
parachutes out. Yeah,
It's like when the teacher
yeah.
rolled
Well,
into
and that thing was
television,
huge.
like you knew there was gonna be a
Hmm.
movie, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. That was
So
fun.
yeah,
And what did we do? We just went in it, and then sometimes you'd run across, well, and if you
like they would have one, like all it was up, and so on and
right.
so forth. But it was so big and it was so heavy,
Mm-hmm.
right? That it, like, the gym teacher would only pull it out like on a special occasion.
Yeah.
All right. And what's interesting is I don't think this is unique to our school. So what it means is
No, it's not. I've
across,
seen pictures. I've seen
yeah.
pictures.
So what it means is in the public education budget somewhere,
Hmm.
somebody has a line item being like giant rainbow colored parachute.
Well, I would go even one step further. In the gym teachers' education, they were all taught
Yeah,
to do that
exactly.
one day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like
They're going
that's
through
crazy.
their syllabus. They're like, okay, dodgeball and parachute.
Okay.
Oh, what is this all about?
And talking about, Jason and them being like so like fast and stuff. I feel like if I was called, I would be like, they wouldn't even get through. And they'd be like, ping, ping, ping. I'd be like, oh,
Be like, the parachute is falling on you, and you're like, you're underneath there. Let me out! Let me out! Lost another kid. They're folding up the parachute, and
it's like,
they find you and the asthmatic kid under the parachute, like.
I was not fast.
That's not true. When they had pudding, I saw you move. Yeah, like I can say anything. Yeah.
It wasn't pudding, it was ice cream cups with the wooden spoons. That's what I'd run for. All right, well, let's end on that happy one instead of
the violence.
The violence.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could do a part 2 on this.
I'd have to
seesaw, those horse things on the coils.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, good point. So, yeah, I mean that's
Jesus. Let's just put a little.
I mean, I may have to stalk a couple of playgrounds to refresh my memory. So if you hear of, middle-aged man getting arrested for stalking a bunch of children at the playgrounds, this is all in the name of research.
Okay, there is the internet. You don't have to go in person. It's so creepy. I don't want to end on that. He's not a weirdo, I swear.
No more than anyone else in our generation. See, this type of sense of humor, we all get it.
There you go.
Right?
Exactly. That's the king of it. I like it.
Nobody offended here.
Lord of the Flies. Maybe we should call it Lord of the Playground. Ooh. So it's like a illusion.
I got you. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay. Well, on that note, thank you for this trip down the lane. So fun.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Where is it?